Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to walk you guys through my specific meal planning process. What might work for me might not work for you, so just take this with a grain of salt and hopefully you can just apply a little bit of tidbits from this video. But the main reason why I wanted to make this video is because I know that one of the most common obstacles for people is planning ahead and actually setting yourself up for success. A lot of people tend to wing it, and that can often lead to not being as on point as you could be, especially during weeks where you don't necessarily have a lot going on. So it is now Sunday. I do not have meals planned at all. I kind of have some things in my mind, but I wanted to walk you guys through like exactly how I go through it. So I'm going to be screen recording a lot of things. And let's start with my first step. So the first thing you got to look at is, what are your nutrition goals? So are you tracking calories? Are you tracking calories and protein? Or are you tracking calories and all macronutrients? So for me, throughout this bulking phase, I am tracking calories and all macronutrients. My calories are currently at 3,400, protein 225, carbs at 425, and fat at 90. So with these goals, like calories are the number one most important thing for me. And then protein, 225 is the baseline. So if I end up tracking and it ends up being like 235, sure, nothing wrong with that. And then carbs and fats, those can interchange each other a little bit. Based on these numbers, I'm now going to determine, so that's step number one, what are nutrition goals? Step number two is look ahead and determine how many days and what obstacles you might have upcoming this week. So for me, it is great. Like I have a stretch of time where I can be extremely dialed in, which I always look forward to. I don't have many social occasions. Like I'll still go out for a couple beers or go out to eat, and I'll talk you guys through how I approach that later in this video. So depending on how many days, okay, let's start there. I'm gonna go with 6 days. And I'm going to eat the exact same thing every single day. So then I only have to track one single day and then eat that same thing throughout the week. Then the next thing, step 3, would be look around the house and determine, do you have any foods in the house that need to be used up? Or do you have something in the freezer that you want to implement into your meal prep for the week? So for me, one thing that I had was from last week was some buns left over. There's 4 of them, but still, I don't want to throw them in the freezer. I will probably get more at the grocery store. Well, I will get more because it's going to require more than that. And when I did see the buns, the first thing I thought of making is cheeseburgers, because I have not had those in a long time and I can't wait to have burgers. So here, let me track these first. So I'm going to have 2 burgers per meal. So that'll be 2 buns. Then once you have the things like these, this is the only thing that I currently have on hand that is gonna like expire or get old, so that's why I'm tracking that first. I do have some other foods on hand that I always have on hand, so it's not like I need to use them, but I'm going to utilize them this week, and I'll get into that meal shortly. So after this, one of the things I do is I look at the weekly ads for the grocery stores in town. So Aldi, my favorite one of all. I always look on there and mainly look at like their fruit that's on sale. There was nothing that great on sale this week, but hey, is what it is. I'll still get a pint of raspberries is what I was kind of thinking, because that's been my go-to lately, and it's very easy to just grab it and eat it. So I will add more to my lunch here. Add food, raspberries, pint as purchased. So that's pretty accurate. So for a full pint of raspberries, 162 calories. If it tends to be like a half ounce more, that'll be like, I don't know, 20 calorie difference, if that. So let's save that. Well, once I decide for cheese, I want to have mushroom and Swiss burgers. That just sounds really good. Swiss Aldi. Yep, Happy Farms is the cheese from Aldi. So 2 slices there for the 2 burgers. And then one thing I want to go over with you guys is, so at the other grocery store in town, Central Market in Detroit Lakes, I always look at their ad. It just started today, and they have 85% lean ground beef on sale. I don't even consider getting that, just because 85% lean is not that lean for ground beef. So let me show you what the difference is between getting that and 93% lean ground beef. All right, so let's say I was gonna eat 12 ounces per meal. 85% lean ground beef would be 62 grams of protein to 50 grams of fat. That is a lot of fat. And then when we go to 93% lean, so 12 ounces of 93% lean ground beef is 71 grams of protein to 24 grams of fat. That is a huge difference. So that's why I always encourage getting the leaner stuff. It is more expensive, but you're paying for protein. And it's very difficult to get in sufficient protein for most people. And this is an easy way that you can get in enough. That's an easy call. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to do 6-ounce patties, it looks like. And that meal is basically set. So lunch, I've determined it's going to be 1,139 calories, 95 grams of protein, 95 grams of carbs, and 42 grams of fat, which is about half of my fat for the day. But wait, I gotta add mushrooms as well. But actually, I'm not even gonna add them in here because I could literally eat the entire packet of mushrooms for, it's not many calories at all. It's for sure less than 100 calories in a full pint of them. So I'm not worried at all about that. Like in the back of my mind, I'll say like, I'll get in probably 20 calories from how many mushrooms I actually put on the 2 burgers. It's gonna be minimal. I'm not gonna cook them with butter or oil or anything. I'm just gonna throw them in the pan and let them get soft, basically. And then toss them on top, keep it simple. And now I'm gonna go to my breakfast, the other meal that I'm gonna plan out. Like my third and final meal, I have no idea what I want quite yet. So for this meal, what I'm thinking is, you know, those protein energy bites, I'm gonna do like a monster cookie version of that, and I'm not gonna like make round balls of them. I'm just gonna put all the ingredients like in a bowl and then like eat it with a spoon. So it's like a doughy, it's almost like a cookie dough of a monster cookie. So first, let's go whey protein. I'm not sure how many scoops I'll use. Let's say I'm actually going to use 1.5, so that'll be 51 grams. I still use BPN's whey protein. Then I'm going to go quick oats. It's already in my past searches, but why not check it out here? So let's just say 120. Then let's go honey. I'm gonna guess about 40 grams. And I always go by grams because that's the most accurate and very easy to weigh on a food scale. Literally put a bowl on it, add the oats, 120 grams, 0 at the scale, add the honey, 0 at the scale. And it's the most simple way that I found throughout my like 10 years. So that's why I always recommend it. We'll do M&Ms. M&Ms, just the chocolate chip ones. Let's see. I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate. Let's go with 15 grams. And that'll be about 80 calories. That seems like plenty. Just for an extra little sweet, glorious something. I'm gonna use almond butter instead of peanut butter because I've had this a while, so I figured why not just use it up. And the only ingredient in here is almonds, which is great. All right, barcode scanner, do 2 tablespoons of that. And there we go. So this is a rough draft. And what I want you guys to know is that this is the meal that I can adjust very easily, especially the carb amount and protein amount, just by adding or subtracting a little bit of any which ingredient. So if I want a lower carb, I'll reduce the amount of oats or honey. If I want less or more fat, I will adjust the amount of almond butter. And then if I want more or less protein, I'll adjust the amount of protein powder that I utilize in the meal. And that will be 1,040 calories, 62 grams of protein, 135 grams of carbs, and 32 grams of fat. So let's log that. And one thing I forgot, as far as like those macro goals and calorie goals are based on workout days. And there's going to be 2 days during the week that I don't work out, which those will be 3,200 calories still about. So I just have 2 bananas on the workout days. So pre-workout snack. That's the only meal that I have at the same time every single day when I do have them. Add that into my snack. So now we're currently we have remaining 1,020 calories, 66 grams of protein, 141 grams of carbs, and 16 grams of fat, which actually is a very balanced macronutrient meal. So this should be pretty easy to hit those numbers. And I do not know what I want to have yet. Like when I'm not for sure, it always ends up being something like with chicken thigh and rice, and keeping it so dang simple. Because why complicate things? Why not just make it like a 3-ingredient meal? Because chicken thigh, I recently had that. Let's go with 10 ounces of raw. I always go by raw because like with chicken, it depends on how cooked, how overcooked or undercooked, not necessarily undercooked, but like if something's cooked perfectly chicken wise, it's still going to be juicy and hold on to a lot more weight. And if you overcook it, it's going to be a lot lighter and dried out. So by weighing out your chicken based on the cooked weight and tracking it based on the cooked weight, it's less accurate. But if that's the most convenient way for you to do it, that is completely fine. Like don't stress out too much about it. So just from chicken thigh, 56 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat. So I think I hit my fat right there. So let's go to basmati. And then I just microwave my rice. Sometimes I'll cook it in advance. And I also do have some bouillon cubes, which maybe I'll make my rice all in bulk and then just scoop it out as I go. All right. So let's just guesstimate 100 grams. And then with bulking, rather than eating a ton of veggies, I like to go with fruit because it helps me get my carb intake up more. And then when I'm cutting, I'll lean more on veggies because it's slightly lower in calories, but still providing plenty of nutrients. There they are, the mandarins. I'll do 4 of those for my nutrients. So whenever I do track a meal, I always start with protein source. And then like I already had like the plan for nutrient source with the raspberries. So, all right, let me just log this and see where I'm at. Oh, I have 161 calories remaining, 27. Holy cow, this is going to be like perfect. 27 grams short on carbs, but protein and fat are within 1 gram. So now I just need to add more basmati rice to that meal or just add more oats or honey to my monster cookie thing. And then I'll be good to go. So now that I have all this tracked, I can write out my grocery list and I can know exactly how much of each thing to get. So I have plenty of oats since this thing's pretty much fresh. So that's good. This is good, almost full. And then I have plenty of honey. So the monster cookie thing, the only thing I need, M&Ms. So add that to my grocery list. And then whey protein powder, got plenty of that. And then for the burgers, I'll add buns to my list. So then I can have, since I'm planning for 12 or 6 days, that would be 12 burgers. So as long as I have 8 more buns, and I'll put them in the freezer, one of the packages, and then take them out like the day before. I'm going to use a couple of them. I'll get the 93% lean ground beef, get the 6 thing. Well, I'll get like 3 or 4 things of the raspberries, and then I'll go back to the store just to make sure I get some fresh ones quick, and then they're still good. Get the Swiss cheese, make sure I have 12 total slices of that, and I think a package actually is exactly 12 slices, which is very convenient. And then for the chicken thigh, since it's 10 ounces per meal, I need 60 ounces of that. And then like for the ground beef too, whatever 12 ounces times 6 is, that's how much ground beef I'm going to have. And if I have any bit left over, I might find a way to incorporate it somehow or just save it for next week. And then the mandarin oranges, make sure I'll probably get 1 bag of those. And then when I go back in to get the raspberries, get some more mandarins. Bananas, same thing. I'll get like 6 or 8 to start. And then when I need more, pick some more up whenever I pick up some more fruit. So that's my process. And after I do go get the groceries and make the monster cookie thing, I'll kind of be able to tell like if there needs to be more honey or less oats or something like that, and get that the ratios all perfected, and that'll determine how much of the basmati rice I have with that chicken meal. That's literally only 3 ingredients: the chicken thigh, rice, and 4 mandarin oranges. Like, how great is that? After that, I'm literally set, and I'll get it all sorted out. And now, go to the grocery store, grab only the things I need. I won't even look at things that I don't need, which if you go into the grocery store without a plan, it's very easy to just grab unnecessary things. And if you buy it, you're going to eat it. So if you buy a bunch of candy, things like that, it can be a bad situation because you want to set yourself up for as much success as possible. So to review here, step 1, what are your nutrition goals? Calories and protein, calories and all macronutrients, or maybe you're just like focusing on getting in enough protein and eating until you're at least full. Number 2, determine how many days and also any obstacles. And that reminds me, so if I do have an obstacle throughout the day, or if something pops up where I'm going to go out to eat, I will just substitute my highest fat meal with that meal out to eat. But what I order will be very focused on protein. And the reason why I substitute the highest fat meal is because when you do go out to eat, that's where restaurants get all their flavor from. Like there's a lot of added fat in foods at restaurants for the most part. So that's the easiest way for me to kind of balance it out. And also, like, with the goal being bulking, just to ensure like I get in sufficient amount of food too. So even if I go over my calorie goal by a few hundred, nothing wrong with that. Because if you go out to eat once or twice a week and just replace one of your meals with that, nothing wrong with that. This is a lifestyle. Like, if you're prepping for a bodybuilding show, yes, be restrictive. Like, you have to in order to be your absolute best. But in order for this to be like an enjoyable, sustainable approach to fitness, while you will still see progress, you gotta learn how to adapt and not necessarily feel guilty when you do go out to eat or feel the need to restrict certain things. And that's also why I'm incorporating some M&Ms into my nutrition. It's a nice little treat. And the order that I do have these meals, I'll change it up depending on the day, however I feel, whatever I want to have at that specific time that I'm going to eat. As long as I get in those 3 meals, I will be right on point with my nutrition numbers. Then step number 3 is look around the house and look for foods that you know need to be used up or that you want to implement into your meal prep for the week. And step number 4 would be to check your local weekly ads. Aldi is clutch. Step 5 would be to pre-track. So I walked you through exactly how I do that. And now that it is tracked and in my phone, I know exactly what I'm gonna be eating every single day for my meals. And then just make a grocery list based on the ingredients as well as the quantities that you're going to need based on how many days you are prepping for. And then once you go get your groceries, I guess you could just start cooking. Cook what you need to cook. And also, if you can make each individual meal every single day with ease, do that. So that's my approach. I hope this helps a little bit. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, you're never off track. There's always something you can do to support your health and fitness, even when you do have a bush light. Nothing is off limits ever. Live long, live fun. Cheers. Talk to you in the next one.